time. Be sure you protect any reusable bearings from dirt and contamination. Never place them on a dirty surface, such as the floor or workbench. If you need to store a used bearing, after cleaning, dip it in oil, then drain before putting it in a protective wrapper. After you have thoroughly inspected the bearing, you should inspect the housing. All dirt and debris must be removed so a new cup will seat properly when it's installed. We recommend kerosene for cleaning hubs, spindles, and housings. Pay particular attention to any pockets or channels in these parts. Clean them thoroughly. Loose particles can be blown out with an air hose. Again, be sure to wear eye protection. Be sure to file smooth any nicks or burrs in the housing or on shafts. And while the parts are disassembled, your shop maintenance schedule should specify a periodic measurement of each housing bore and shaft diameter to make sure they still meet manufacturer's specifications. If they don't, you must rebuild them to the original specs or replace them. Bearings should not be installed in worn housings or on worn shafts. Good seals are needed to keep moisture and dirt out of the bearing housing. As a matter of good practice, you should always replace them, and when you do, be sure you use the proper driver to prevent damage to the housing and seals. Now you're ready to replace any damaged bearings with new ones. Plan ahead. Take a new bearing out of the carton only when you're ready to use it. There's no need to wash new bearings. The corrosion-preventing compound applied to them won't harm the lubricant. The first step in replacement is proper lubrication. It's essential to the performance of Timken tapered roller bearings because lubricants carry away heat and protect against corrosion and friction wear. The type of lubricant used depends on the bearing application, design, and operating conditions, so follow the specifications of the equipment manufacturer. When grease lubrication is specified, any tapered roller bearing, new or used, must be lubricated before reassembly. A mechanical grease packer will give you the best results. If necessary, cones can be hand-packed by forcing grease under the cage from the cone back face until it shows at the front face. Now for the installation itself. Installing bearings takes even more care than removing them. Here again, the proper tools must be used to avoid damaging the bearings, housings, and shafts. Cone drivers are strongly recommended for driving cones onto a shaft. Note that the cone driver does not touch the cage. Likewise, cup drivers are recommended for installing cups into a housing. As you can see, the fitted drivers contact the faces correctly and the driving force is evenly distributed, so mounting is easier and there's far less danger of damaging parts. If drivers aren't available, you can use a mild steel bar, but be extremely cautious. Never use hardened steel bars, drifts, or punches. Avoid hitting the cage and rollers. Brass bars or lead hammers cannot be used as drivers either because they chip easily. If even the smallest chip is caught in the rollers or behind the cup's mounting surfaces, the bearing won't seat properly